This is a granny square tutorial. At the same time, the first part of the dress that I will be making that fits a 4 to 5-year-old child. It's a magic circle, and you can make it the way you know or the way you prefer. And I will be using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. So in the circle, we are going to be putting 12 double crochets, and that beginning chain does not count as a stitch, okay? Or if you prefer, you can make it as a stitch and you make 11 double crochets plus the chain, making it 12 double crochets. So I'm going to come back and I find you when I'm done with my and our 12th. So to close our circle, we are going to find the top of that first double crochet, and we are going to put a slip stitch and close our work, and I cut off the white yarn. So now this is our end tail. We are going to pull that tight and we close the middle of the circle. Okay, so now I'm going to get my pink yarn. You can use any color that you prefer, and this is how I'm going to be joining it on my circle. Okay, so I'm going to put 5 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we are going to be creating a bubble stitch with these 5 double stitches, and we are going to find the top of our first double crochet, insert the hook, and then we pull on the loop, and then we close it like that. So we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to repeat the same. Okay, 5 double crochets in the same stitch, and then at the end of it we close those 5 double crochets, giving us a bubble stitch. Okay, so here is a quick glimpse on how our stitch is going to look like, bubble stitch. Okay, so I'm going to come back and I find you when you are done with that. So I'm on our last bubble stitch, and let's do that again together. Let's close it together. So this is how it looks like. Now we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to find the beginning of our first bubble stitch, and we're going to slip stitch and pull through. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and then first enough, that is, cut our yarn, and yeah, our second round is finished. So this is how it's looking like, so beautiful. Now we are moving on to the third row. That is, we're going to start creating the square. Okay, and this is again how I want to join my yarn, but there are so many ways you can join your yarn. So now I'm going to make 1 double crochet. Okay, and that is, we have joined our next color. Again, you can use the colors that you prefer. So we are going to be putting 3 double crochets into the chain space, into our previous chain space. Okay, and that is 3, and then we are going to go into the next chain space. Okay, no chaining, no nothing, and we put another 3 double crochets into that chain space. Okay, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, set the hook, yarn over, pull through all. Okay, so now into our next stitch we are going to be creating the so here we are going to be creating our corner, and in this corner I'm going to be double crocheting 2 double crochets. Okay, but you can make them 3, it is also perfectly fine. And then chain 2 and then put 2 double crochets again into the same space. Okay, that is, we are creating the corner, but just like I said, you can make them 3, it's perfectly fine. So that is our first corner. So now here we are going to repeat that, and again 3 double crochets in the same space, jump into the next space, we put 3 double crochets into that. Okay, and then we are on our second corner. So now here, this is what we are going to be repeating. Okay, 3 double crochets into the next 2 chain spaces, and then we create our corner. Okay, 3 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 2 chain spaces, and then we create the corner. Okay, I'm going to come back in when I'm done with mine. So now here we are at the end, and we are going to put our last corner. Okay, that is 2 double crochets into the same space. Okay, and then chain 2. Remember I told you can make them 3 to 3. Okay, and then 2 double crochets into again the same space. Okay, and that is we've created our fourth corner. Okay, remember we need 4 corners to create our granny, so this is it. And then we are going to slip stitch on top of our first double crochet there, and we close our work. Okay, so we chain 1, and then we are going to clip off that yarn. Okay, and that is our third row is done. So on to our fourth row, I wanted to show you another way you can join your yarn. Okay, you can find any space that you want on your previous row, and this is how you can join the yarn. Okay, chain up 2, doesn't count as a stitch, and then we go back into the same stitch, and we are going to put 3 double crochets. Okay, so now what we are repeating is what we are doing here is just repeating our third row. Okay, just exactly what we've done on our third row is what we are going to be doing here. No chaining, no nothing. Okay, so here we're going to put 3 double crochets into this chain space here, and 3, then into our corner here. Remember we created that, so we are going to put there the next corner. Okay, that is 2 double crochets into the same space, working on top of that yarn, of course, and then we are going to chain 2, and then again 2 double crochets into the same space. Okay, so now here we are at the end, and I'm putting our last 3 double crochets. That's what I've ended with. Okay, 2 and 3. Okay, now after that we are going to slip stitch our work onto the top of our very first double crochet, and then we are going to fasten off and cut the yarn.